Hello, I'm Kat Rambo, your medicine woman, and I've been wondering, have you been feeling the chaos of the last few months? Doesn't it feel like a hangover of the last few years? When does 2025 finally begin? Have you also been sensing that anticipation that's building? I want to tell you that yes, the time for a big shift has finally come. So we're going to use now the moon to help us have a guide to navigate this period so we can get the most out of what's coming finally. To help you flow through this slingshot window, I want to look at a few things that are going on in the cosmos around us and how that's related to how we may be feeling with our internal experience and in our life, as above, so below. And then, of course, something we could do about it and how to help ourselves move through this portion of our lives with grace and with ease and with fun and with flow, because flow is definitely going to be on the menu. We describe the phases by the light that we perceive on the moon, which is coming from the sun and reflects back to us. But the element that actually gives the moon phases is our shadow. So what we're really perceiving, and the part that always changes, is our own darkness, shadow, projected onto an external object, which is why I think the moon is a good representation for what's going on in our own internal environment. We are beings of water, so with the sun and moon on one side of us, we can envision the pull of the tidal forces asking us to let things go. The darkness of a new moon is always going to ask us to self-reflect and also to decide what really no longer serves us anymore, and sometimes that means a brutal self-inventory. This authenticity, though, done right, makes space to plant seeds, so as the moon's light grows, so does whatever it is that you've made an intention for at this time. This new moon, February 27th or 28th, depending on where you're located, will be in front of the constellation Pisces. So this is an indicator to look at whether or not we've been feeling intuitive, emotional, maybe psychic, and the sense of a desire to go with the flow. So if you're in resistance to this type of energy, what that means is you are feeling struggle, you're feeling complication, you're feeling like maybe an uphill battle or swimming upstream, right? But if you're in alignment with this energy, and you can focus on that concept now, then you can drop into letting the universe help you get to your best self. This is where this part of this month gets really interesting. It is finally time for a huge leap forward, so pause, reflect, shift gears, and it's time to start taking action. So let's make a little ritual magic together to help us be focused on the possibilities available to us right now. Always love to include candles. This is your fire element. This is the transmutation energy. This also helps call in spirits, and of course it sets the mood, which is always important. So we have this one here, this big green candle, which is for growth. We also have these, bigger rituals, obviously lots more candles, but this is a small little magic that we can share together. This one is for magic and going with the flow, that's Yamaya energy, and this one is for material abundance, the sweet things of life, and just enjoying general wealth energy, and I think that would be great to include during a slingshot period. So whether or not you burn these during your rituals, up to you. Sometimes you're in a place where you necessarily can't, but I do recommend cleansing them and preparing them as part of your ritual. Here we have some cascarilla, if that's something that you like. Agua florida, sometimes we'll use that. We place that on the candle. You can also smudge your candle. Here's some Palo Santo, or even put a little bit of camphor on it. That is up to you what you do with your candle, however you dress it after that. But at the same time, I would recommend doing something to cleanse it and prepare it for your ritual. Whatever it is that you do is up to you. As a note, there are lots of ancient witchcraft recipes out there, but remember, magic should feel good to you, which means it's good to also let it be intuitive. I'm a huge advocate for finding your own magic and your own path, so let this all just be an inspiration for you, and you do it your way. In the meantime, the next step is to write something. So this moon is all about the energy of really letting things go to be able to go with the flow. So this is a great time to write. I like to start with something I'm grateful for, and then what it is that I feel like I've learned enough from in my life and I'm ready to let go of. I wrote complication, I wrote difficulty, I wrote some other things, that, not a lot, just a couple of things that I feel like I'm ready to move on from, and then you write what it is that you're really calling in, what you're grateful for. I do this, you don't have to, or a lesson that you've learned, or something that you're appreciating from this past period that you realize that now you're done learning that lesson and you want to move on, right? So I like to write all this, and then you do whatever you want. Some people like to write their wishes on bay leaves. I use brown papers for letting go stuff and bay leaves for calling in stuff. So you do it however you like to do it. And then you can take this, and I put cascarilla in it, agua florida, sometimes a little alcohol, since I have here a little pisco for this little ancestor section I have over here. Gifts for the ancestors. You can do corn or whatever else that you like as an offering for ancestor work, if that's how you do your magic. If you don't, then not. But I would definitely recommend on the space that you're working with, at least on your altar or in your workspace. Like I'm just in the yard right now with a bandana, right? You can do that anywhere. You know, it's making sure that you're honoring what it is that's working with you, whether that's a spirit guide, an angel, a deceased loved one, an animal totem, it doesn't matter, right? Or, you know, if you feel like your relationship is with the force, okay, cool, like whatever, but do somehow with representative magic, put something there that represents your gratitude for what works with you and what you work with, right? Okay, so with these, you can, like I said, tangent, right? The alcohol, the pisco here is for our fathers, my partner and mine. So I pour that over there to cleanse or purge. Now, when you're getting rid of something, when you're going to fold it away from you. You don't want to come in towards you, right? And then you can burn this, or you can, I bury it if you like and give it a funeral. I decided to tear mine. And remember, when you're going to tear things to get rid of them, tear away from yourself, right? Not tearing towards yourself, because you don't want to call that energy back into you. It's all got to be away, right? So this is a bay leaf. You can get them from the grocery store in the seasoning section or grow them as a tree. And these are great for magic. The oracles at Delphi used to use them for divination, so I like to put them into tea blends. It's good for your stomach, actually. It's why we cook with them. And you write on here what it is that you wish for, right? And I put this under my pillow. You can put this on an altar. You can put it wherever you want. If you don't have a bay leaf and or you want to write more, I recommend it. I recommend getting a big piece of paper and writing out everything that you're grateful for as though it's already true. You already have it. You're feeling it. And in fact, do a creative visualization of a moment of your ideal reality and write out every detail about it. Like, how does it feel? What are you wearing? What are you doing? What does the environment smell like? Get really specific, as though it's already true. And the idea is to then plant this new seed after letting go of what it is that you want to release. Now, with that second prayer of calling in, there's other things you can do with it too. I also wrote a big ass paper on top of a bay leaf. These you can burn as incense, by the way. So if you want to burn this wish and send the smoke to prayer, it's also a great option. I had a big ass paper that I also wrote with all kinds of wonderful dreams and inspirations and aspirations. So I wrapped it around cinnamon and this bit of rosemary, and I'm going to put this underneath my pillow for the next 2 weeks.
Why 2 weeks, you ask? Great question. But first, let's discuss some planetary action, shall we? I want to talk about the timeline of what's going to happen at the 1 day mark after the new moon, the 2 week mark, the 1 month mark, and then the 6 month mark, to give us a timeline of what to expect during this period. So the very following night, or maybe the same night depending on where you are, is the height of a planetary alignment. So astronomically speaking, for the solar system, this isn't really that much of an alignment experience, but for us it is on Earth, because we can see all of the other planets in our solar system in the night sky at the exact same time. And this doesn't happen all that often, so it's a really special moment to look at. And because I love celebrating the skies and astronomical events, let's look at what this could mean for you. So this is about an alignment, right? So what are you in alignment with? And I love magic of synchronicity. So the fact that this new moon also falls at the same, there's a tree here, at the same time as this astronomical alignment, I feel like it's a really important time to get in alignment with what it is that we really want in our life. There's a very good reason for that. Now let's hop forward to the 2 week mark. So if your prescription for the planetary alignment is to focus on alignment, visualization exercises are good, writing is good, and you're doing that during this new moon ritual anyway. So that means also that you can do these types of rituals at
any time around this period. So if you don't have the capacity to do it on the night of the 27th, this new moon thing for yourself, then don't panic, right? Just do it sometime around that period, because that energy is not just locked into a single moment in time. Time is a non-linear thing anyway, so take advantage of that concept and do whatever it is that feels right on your timeline. That also means following your intuition. So if it means you do this ritual, several days later, or maybe you do the entire 2-week period until the next lunation to do the alignment prescription, which is to focus on what you really, really want to be with coming up, So make it your own, right? And it doesn't have to be exactly on the timeline. You're not going to miss out on something if you're a couple days later. That's all okay. So what's going on in 2 weeks? Okay, so of course, what happens 2 weeks after new moon is a full moon, yay! But this is also a lunar eclipse. So what this means is this Pisces new moon kicks off our 2025 first eclipse cycle. So this is extra amplified energy because eclipses have always been important in historical ritual traditions and shamanic traditions, but also they can be a fun way to celebrate a special moment in time now. This makes the 2 weeks between the Pisces new moon and this lunar eclipse the unofficial start of eclipse season, which means this is a weird sort of in-between anticipation vortex, right? So it's a good time to focus on what your heart really wants. What are your dreams, right? We've had this pullback slingshot, waiting, pause, reflecting experience with the new moon. And as this buildup is happening towards the full moon, let's stop and take a look and say, okay, what am I going to focus on? What am I in alignment with? What am I going to aim towards, right? So that way, when we get to this eclipse and that energy catapults us forward, what are we aimed towards in a way that is as easy as possible? Because if we haven't let go of the shit weighing us down, that slingshot forward is not going to be as cute, right? So definitely take this time to focus on your dreams, focus on your heart's desires, make some intuitive choices, and practice going with the flow and letting go of shit you don't need. So that's a really important thing to be doing during this time. So witch doctor's orders, right, is maybe grounding, maybe some self-care. So say yes to that intuitive, dreamy aspect of yourself. Practice being with that, but also keep yourself grounded enough to not make impulsive choices, because it's not really a good time to make new decisions yet, just to really focus on what you think you actually want and also how you want it, because you need to be able to take sustainable action. So now's not really time for that. Now's the time to just look and pause and aim, right? So then what does happen is this full moon eclipse, and the eclipse always sheds a bright light on something, and we've had this period of the growing moon phase, which is the growing energy and anticipation of this moment. And then what happens? Lunar eclipses are never a time to start a new project. They are a time to really focus on what needs to be surrendered and what you need to let go of in order to make space for what comes next, right? So this one's particular theme is control and perfectionism and the micromanaging tendency and needing everything to show up exactly the way you need it to show up. Are you noticing a theme? We have to be in flow, we have to be in surrender, we have to choose faith, right? So intuitive, flowing Pisces fishes swims right into this marked experience of it is time to let go of the control right now before things take off, because that river is about to start flowing. These kinds of eclipses can be super emotional. So what can we do about it? What's the prescription? How do we reduce the resistance and get in alignment is, of course, detox. Decluttering your house, distancing yourself from chaotic people, drinking water, taking care of your body. This is a great time for self-care, maybe taking baths and doing the things that you know are good for you. Maybe moving, right? Whatever it is that feels like it's helping the energy release and you're getting in alignment with that letting go vibe. So whatever that looks like in physical space, also go for it. This is also a great time for any cord cutting rituals and also finishing projects, right? So it's time to get stuff done and out of your way. So maybe that means a craft project, maybe that means a work project, maybe that means some personal matter that you really need to deal with. That can even mean relationships. It's really good to wrap things up and finish what hasn't been finished yet. Yes, this could be a little brutal if you are not ready to release your grip. If If you are, enjoy going with the flow and the moment of clarity. If you're not, and even if you are, maybe make yourself some eclipse water. Take some potable water, put it outside under the eclipse, and then drink it for as long as it lasts, or bathe in it, or pour it over your head, whatever feels good, put it on your altar to help yourself focus on going with the flow and letting go and having faith and remembering to breathe and letting happen what it needs to happen.
Wow, I just learned how to use the swipe pen.
And then finally, around 2 weeks later, is the moment we've been waiting for and probably gearing up for years. The next new moon can give us some inspiration because around March 29th, it's paired with also a partial solar eclipse, and it also appears in front of the constellation Aries. So what does that mean for us? If you've ever been around someone who really connects with the Aries part of their horoscope, it is all action all the time.
Aries energy is bold, and it is all about action. It's time for that slingshot that's been drawing back to finally catapult you forward with decisive, bold, outrageous action. Go make that choice. Now that you have taken your time to reflect on what you really want from your true heart's nature, and then clean up the garbage that you no longer need has been in your way for far too long, finishing up everything from an old life. What you get with this solar eclipse is a brand new fresh start energy paired with strong, bold action energy. And this is now the time to say yes to whatever it is you feel like you want to do. It comes with the possibility of massive success. Allow this awesome inspiration and forward momentum to propel you in the direction that you took the time to really focus on where you wanted to go, and it can only bring you to awesome places. Cosmically, this may be the shift our culture has been waiting for. We're finally going to be making choices that are bold and intentional from a position of our heart and our deep knowing. This is an identity level question. We may have been feeling identity crisis energy going on, and this is a great time to finally know yourself, self-discovery, drive, motivation, identity, all coming from a much higher perspective and a much better place, presumably, assuming that we do the work. So now you understand what's the labyrinth, how can you flow through this window, is by relaxing, breathing, letting go, drink water, do some self-care, really focus on what you want, make no choices, and then all of a sudden, launch yourself off for the new moon that's coming up, that's in Aries, that's the end of March. So you see why in the preparation time it's good to be doing very purposeful visualization. So for this new moon, you can do something really simple, which is make a calendar, right? The difference between a goal and a dream is a plan. So start making choices, put things on the calendar way sooner than you think you're ready for them. You have very good luck on your side. There's a lot of good luck in everything from relationships to other personal types of connections, work and social stuff, career stuff, that project you've always dreamed of, that like passion, side hustle. It's time to really go for it. You want to make a completely new change in your life. Now is the time. So I would get yourself in alignment, prepare yourself, do the visualizations, do the focus exercises, really see it, and then go get it. Go get it, and don't worry about if it's perfect. Remember, you were supposed to have let go of that need for perfection and need for control, and now is the time to just slip into the flow of life, knowing that when you spend that time in that vortex, really focus on what you want, how you want it to be, exactly how you want to feel, exactly what's going on, the way you want it, the how. How do I want this? How do I want this? I want it to be easy, I want it to be fun, I want it to be joyful, right? And then slip yourself into the flow and let yourself get carried towards your success. Just hop in and see what happens. You may be surprised at how much you can achieve during a period of time like this. We've been doing a lot of letting go, and now it's finally time to move forward and say yes to those awesome projects, those things we've always wanted to do. It's possible that you have already, because a lot of us have been baking in that anticipation energy. You may already have that new project started. You may already have inspirations and connections and opportunities coming for you. Great. Pick something, run with it, because whatever you choose right now, you're going to be lucky, right? It's going to work out. So pick something that you really, really, really want finally, and let the world be a place made of people who are really pursuing passion and living in a heartfelt way and taking those aligned action steps and moving with the flow of whatever it is that you know is going to be in your highest and best good, and therefore for the best and highest of us all. Yes, this is that corny follow your dreams moment, and the whole universe is giving you the permission that maybe it's time to stop waiting for it. Go get it. Of course, if you're struggling during these moments, it's always wise to get some help.
And so if you want, as you know, I am here, I'm available, leave me a comment, I always reply to them. I'm going to be opening a new section of classes, and I'm always available for coaching. So if you feel like you want some personal guidance during this time, I recommend seeking a trusted friend, a good medicine person, a good therapist, whatever it is that you need to help yourself feel like you're getting all the support that you need during this time of transition. So if you like, subscribe, you know all the stuff. And in the comments, you'll see a link to my website where you can see all the fun stuff that I do and connect with me. I have a Facebook group. I'm there every week. Ask me questions. I love interacting. So come hop into the community and see how it feels to be supported during a really wonderful period of transition like this one. So I've been asked to amend this video to share how I'm applying this insight in my life. So here's that. So I've actually made the decision for the entirety of this year of 2025 for me to be in a whole year of surrender and go with the flow. So I feel like I've worked really, really hard in my life for a lot of things, and I'm in a moment where I feel like it's time for me to see where that takes me. And every time I enter into a moment of deep surrender like this, it always brings me to a beautiful place. So I'm definitely in a position of faith with that. So I'm focusing on spirituality right now, and this like Pisces energy is very spiritual. So I'm leaning on that a lot right now in my life. I'm constantly with readings. Oh, look, we pulled play. How fun is that? I love that shit. I'm in a position of just really enjoying being creative. I've been having fun with these like runes I've been reading, right? These like, they're different from the Futhark runes, right? And just having fun with it, right? And being in play, like the card, I swear I just came up like that. Yesterday when we were doing the new moon ritual, we pulled up the moon card. It seems right? And just really focusing on being in the joy of creativity and seeing where that goes. And so the idea of letting go right now and surrender is not an unfamiliar one, but I was prepared sort of to take that to a deeper level, which is always what that energy is going to do for us. So I definitely had a couple nights where I really thought about, you know, what I did not want anymore and how I was going to not do that anymore, you know, because we repeat our own patterns. And to be specific, so like in some of my relationships, you know, it's about letting go of habits and communication style. It doesn't work. So my partnership, we've been talking a lot about how we want to modify our communication. We're always growing and encouraging each other in that. So that means we're constantly having to re-navigate our relationship and renegotiate what that looks like. So we're in that process, which has been beautiful. It's important to stay focused on what's positive and not like where it's sloppy in the middle, right? Because sometimes change is, and sometimes letting go and really authentic, harsh, maybe not harsh, maybe just really open-minded self-evaluation and self-reflection is key for us both right now. So we're in the process of doing that independently, and then also sharing with each other what it is that we've amended and how we want to live, and figuring out how to flow around each other in that. And flow is part of it. So how can we as two individuals flow around each other? We're in a new place. So we're in Chile. So it's awesome where we're at. I'm sitting in like a dream of mine, which is a food forest. I'm sitting in a garden full of fruit trees. It's really exciting. I love that. And so we're with my partner's family, and it definitely has required going with the flow. I'm in a country where my language skill is really not all that great. Like, it's functional, but Chilean Spanish is really different from Mexican Spanish, I know. So it's definitely been an experience of laughing at myself and going with the flow, and also taking that energy to like sit back a little bit and prepare, because there are projects that I've been really not putting all my energy into because of travel, etc. And now I refuse to let anything get in my way, and I'm really using that energy to inspire a sense of urgency so that Slingshot can carry me forward in what I really want. So finishing books, starting up some classes that I've written that I really want to open. So like for the world, it may look like a beginning because it's a class that I'm doing, but for me, it's an ending because I've put all of this energy and preparation into my work. So it's like this culmination that happens when the class opens. There's so much work that goes in ahead of them. So it feels like a finishing, a completion, right, of all the work that I put in. So I'm really excited about that too. So the other day, I guess 2 days ago, I really wasn't feeling like writing, but I said, okay, so whatever you're doing during this 2 weeks vortex, right, between the new moon and the eclipse, and then of course the next eclipse, the next new moon, is going to inform what you're going to be doing for the next 6 months, because then the completion of that Pisces new moon is 6 months later on the other side of the calendar, which is coincidentally, of course, the Pisces full moon and eclipse. So there's a lot of like action, and so I wanted to make sure that I really got in on that action energy by really putting myself in a position to be with what I want, regardless of if it made sense or not. So sometimes late at night, I'll open my notebooks and I'll start working on a section of my book, even if I'm tired or I don't feel like it, or, you know, maybe something else is going on. I'll say, no, I don't want to do that. I really want to do this other thing, and make space for myself. So I've excused myself from family dinners sometimes, and from doing other things that I also really love and really enjoy, to choose to really focus on what I want. I also have done this ritual that I shared with you to really get focused, right? And whether you believe in representative magic or not, the craft is really just to help you to focus, right? And call on those aspects of yourself that you maybe don't access all the time, especially since it's a very spiritual moment, right? Very spiritual time. That's why a lot of people, I think, are a lot of my clients are calling me asking me, what do I do? I'm like suddenly having all these weird dreams, or I'm suddenly having all these psychic inspirations. Yeah, me too, yeah. But what I have, thankfully, is a life way that informs me with skills and coping mechanisms and the capacity to refine these things as they come up. So to not panic, because sometimes this intense, you know, these openings, but these dreams and whatever, but to trust them. You know, I do trust my dreams. I've learned to cultivate that as a skill, the visioning, the dream work, the trance work. That's how I knew I was moving to Chile. You know, talk about applying that insight into life. You know, I guess a week or two or something before we took this trip that was supposed to be 1 month, 2 weeks with family and 2 weeks with just finishing some legal stuff. You know, and hanging out and exploring. I had this dream, and I told my partner the next day. I said, "Yeah, I think we're going to be there a lot longer." She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I'm packing a week and a half worth of clothes, but I'm packing like 3 months worth of whatever else I think I'm going to need, because I'm pretty sure we're going to be there a long time, and that's a good start." She said, "Okay, Kat, whatever." But we were here in Chile for about 2 weeks, and she looked at me and said, "I think maybe it's a week and a half. I think I'm going to try and move here. Are you okay with that?" I said, "Yeah, I've already packed. I'm ready. I told you." I brought my small crystal travel balls with me. I'm ready to go. So to be able to lean on that and trust in that has really been helpful for me. And I like to remember always that we should celebrate our victories, right? So it feels good to me to say yes to being excited for myself, that I can lean on this aspect of myself, that I've put in the work to cultivate this aspect of myself, and that it's supporting me back in this awesome way right now. So that when things are challenging, I can look back and say, all right, this challenge is going to be something cool. Like maybe I'm having really heavy emotions right now, like a couple nights ago, but I know that it's me letting go of stuff. So I'm just going to let go of these emotions and just let that be all the clarity that I need. Don't try and overthink, overanalyze, control any of it, right? Go with the flow. Just let it happen. And the next day I woke up feeling totally different. I had really intense dreams about opportunity, right? I woke up feeling super motivated, and I'm really enjoying this urgency of the next couple weeks of in between this like eclipse season and get on it, you know, get shit done vibe, to really do that, right? To do that. So I'm excited that I get to share my story with you. I don't really think about that all that often, but I have found that maybe it is helpful to share how I'm putting into practice these types of insights and what it's done for me to do so. And maybe that's how you can know that can help you through it if you need. And I have been doing that with some friends and clients and family who are experiencing these shifts and maybe not exactly knowing what to do with it or what's going on or why they feel that way, because it's a really intense period. So having some support is really important, right? And for me, I love these moments. Even though they're intense, they're fun. Obviously, this is my life way, so I'm into it. I'm into transformation, so I like this like identity level thing that's happening right now. It's really exciting for me, and so I'm really enjoying it, even the parts that are kind of shitty, because I know that they're bringing me someplace awesome, and I am sure that they will for you too. So I think that's everything going on with my story. I'll let you know when the custom books come out. Check to find my Facebook group below. I always put that kind of stuff there. Yeah, so these are the candles from my ritual that I'm gonna go light tonight, right? Over the course of however long they take to burn, and they'll remind me, look into the light, okay, write your book. Look into the light, okay, write your book, get it published. It's exciting. So I hope it brings you as much excitement too. And I hope personal story helps. If you like it, cool. If you don't, cool. Either way, tell me in the comments. Cat, I'm not into it. Cat, love it. Okay, cool. I love you. I'm glad you're here. And I'll see you soon. Bye.